travel ban to 35. Starting early tomorrow, the palace says foreign passengers from the Czech Republic will no longer be allowed to enter the Philippines. Filipinos, on the other hand, who have been to the Czech Republic will be allowed to enter, but they will need to undergo testing and quarantine. The travel ban on all countries will last until the end of January, unless extended. The president of the National Center for Commuters, Safety and Protection is appealing to the Transport Department to allow more buses to return to the road. This as more and more passengers are seen patronizing unauthorized or colorum vehicles due to the lack of better, legitimate transport options. In a Radyo 5 interview, Maricar Acol also urged the operators of colorum vehicles to register with the LTFRB. She says the Bureau is willing to accommodate them as long as they can comply with the franchise requirements. Acol also urged passengers to be more patient, even as some of them have spent hours on terminals and on sidewalks, hoping to catch a ride going to work or back home.
Dapat pagpaumanhin nila dahil nga sa COVID, hindi pwedeng mag-sobra ang mga maisasakay sa bus. Yun ang mahabang pila na sinasabi mo at saka nililimita nila yung pwedeng makapasok sa bus. Sana naman damihan nila yung mga magbabiyahe doon. Pero pagdating sa mga bus, hindi makapagpadala kasi nga doon sa may mga restrictions. Pero inaayos na po yun. Nag-appeal na kami po sa DOTr. I think may mga 500 buses that are allowed. Pinayagan na nga yung 500. Siguro papayagan lang another 500 siguro.
Amid difficulties encountered by commuters, the IAC continues its crackdown against colorum vehicles. Justine Ponsalang reports to us live from Mandaluyong to give us the latest updates from the ground. Justine, good morning. What do you have for us?
Charles, the Interagency Council for Traffic, or IAC, visited Laguna last November, where they apprehended 16 colorum vans and 3 out-of-line buses. They thought that drivers have already learned their lessons, but they were in for a surprise when they received yet another report of the rampant colorum vehicles hitting the road in the province. It was still dark when the IAC started their operations in Calamba, Laguna, but they immediately apprehended private vans that take passengers while lacking the proper documents. Some vans served as company vehicles. However, when drivers were asked to produce documents, they were not able to show a contract of lease, while others did not have appropriate body markings or has not insured their passengers. Having no choice, passengers alighted the vans and were left to find a different mode of transportation. One driver claimed that he was not aware of the need for a contract of lease. He thought the certification issued by the company who hired him was enough. He also said that his vehicle was just used as a replacement shuttle since the original shuttle service of the company broke down. But when asked about how long his van was used as a replacement service, he admitted that it had already been 3 months. Meanwhile, there were also other vans that were apprehended because they were taking in passengers in exchange for a fare, while they were not able to secure the necessary transportation franchise. Today, the IAC has apprehended a total of 17 vans, all of which will be impounded in the LTFRB facility in Pampanga. Besides impounding, the van owners need to pay the 200,000 peso fine for their violation. Charles, the IAC also flagged down a shuttle bus because the driver does not have with him his driver's license. It appeared that his driver's license was confiscated due to a prior traffic violation years ago, and he has failed to recover it until now. Upon further scrutiny, the IAC also learned that the shuttle bus has an expired registration for years. Charles?
All right, IAC cracking down on colorum and delinquent motorists as well. Thank you, Justine Ponsalang, reporting live from Mandaluyong. NTF Deputy Chief Implementer Vince Dizon is urging influencers to be more responsible in following strict health protocols amid the pandemic. Dizon says celebrities and other public figures play a key role in influencing public behavior, so they have to be more conscious about their actions. This reminder comes after TV host Raymond Gutierrez drew flack for allegedly hosting a birthday bash without following social distancing and other health protocols. Gutierrez's party led to the shutdown of La Picara, Manila, the venue of his highly controversial birthday celebration.
Pag yung mga influencers natin mismo ang nagpapakita na sila hindi sumusunod, syempre, ano na lang ang gagawin ng ating mga kababayan? So hinihingi namin ng tulong ng ating mga influencers na sana naman kayo ang maging number one examples, good examples para sa ating mga kababayan. Dahil napaka-importante po ninyo at ng inyong mga ginagawa para sa laban natin.
We'll be back with more stories after a quick break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Charles Lejano. The government is eyeing to participate in vaccine trials, not just for COVID-19, but also for the African swine fever. This as the ASF situation in the country is getting worse, to the point that the Agriculture Department considers this a national calamity. Shala Francisco with the details.
More than 12 pig carcasses all washed ashore. This is what shocked residents in Nawan Oriental, Mindoro and nearby towns over the weekend. Test results are still pending if the animals are infected with the African swine fever. The Agriculture Department says disposing pigs in waters is allowed, but they must be split in two and dumped at least 12 nautical miles from land. In their initial investigation, the DA says the vessel which made the disposal came from Iloilo.
Titingnan po natin lahat yan, kung ano po yung mga na-violate nila ron, hindi nila nasunod, at ano yung measures that can be brought up against them.
The local government opposed the dumping of dead pigs. Should the carcasses be infected with ASF, they say local livelihood might be affected as most residents are backyard hog raisers. The town is still ASF-free.
Naman lang, ito may koordinasyon sa ating mga otoridad, sa aming mga mayor, para mabigyan ng warning yung aming mga barangays.
Over in Leyte, the first case of ASF was recorded in Abuyog town 2 weeks ago. But the DA Eastern Visayas says it has also spread to two nearby towns, Javier and La Paz. In a span of 2 weeks, more than 1,600 pigs have been culled from these three towns. Industry estimates expect that more than 4 million out of 12.8 million hogs in the Philippines have been affected by ASF. But the DA says the number of culled pigs is only around 500,000. The DA now considers the country to be under a state of calamity as ASF continues to affect pork supply and prices.
There is basis for a price ceiling towards price freeze is the African swine fever calamity. Yun ang pananaw ng Department of Agriculture kasi wala pang bakuna.
The DA is also set to talk with Vietnam regarding the ASF vaccine.
Kung available na ito ay mag-trial na rin tayo sa bansa at ganun din dito sa Vietnam. We are now touching base with the Ministry of Agriculture and Food sa Vietnam para agad-agad ay ma-trial at magamit na in a big way yung bakuna.
The Agriculture Department will also mass-produce ASF test kits starting next month to monitor the disease. Shaila Francisco, we are One News.
Manny V. Pangilinan, the chairman of the Philippine Business for Social Progress, says getting into the business of food production can help tame the rising prices of commodities. PBSP is the country's biggest business-led social development foundation. Speaking with One News' The Chiefs, Pangilinan said businesses can help raise the level of food production in line with their goal of promoting corporate social responsibility. Pangilinan notes that if companies can get into modest agricultural activities, they will not only provide livelihood to Filipinos, but also help bring down food prices.
Part of our mission is to apply the discipline of business in CSR work. And if we are able to get into the business of food production, agriculture itself, be it greenhouses or vertical farming or even medium scale, small scale farming, we should get into it. Not really to gain profit, but really to provide livelihood.
Prices of vegetables in Metro Manila are expected to drop in the coming days. This as wet markets await the arrival of huge supplies of vegetables from Central Luzon. The Agriculture Department explains that it's harvest season in Region 3, and the price of produce is seen to go down further as supplies are sold directly from farmers to markets. The DA also says that they're cooperating with the Agrarian Reform Department and Kadiwa to ensure the wide distribution of these vegetables. The agencies will also keep a close watch on the retail prices of these products.
Itong gulay na dumating, almost 90 tons ngayong araw, ay dito po sa Juliana Market, bagsakan ito. At ang mga Bulacan Farmers Cooperative po ang nagdala. They are the producers at sila na rin nagmemerkado yung mga production po nila.
The preliminary investigation of the death of flight attendant Christine Dacera continues today. The PNP is expected to submit additional evidence to the Makati City Prosecutor's Office in a bid to strengthen its case against the persons of interest in Dacera's death. Recall that PNP Chief Dibold Sinas earlier ordered to relieve the Makati PNP Chief and several investigators for alleged lapses in their handling of Dacera's case. Over in the U.S., Donald Trump has opened an office in Florida in a bid to further advance his past administration's agenda. In a statement, Trump's camp said the new office will be responsible for, quote, managing Trump's correspondence, public statements, and other activities that will carry on the agenda of Trump's administration. The announcement came on the same day the House of Representatives delivered to the Senate the articles of impeachment charging Trump with inciting insurrection. On his last day as president last Wednesday, Trump told supporters, "We will be back in some form." And those are the top stories of the hour. Join us later at 1 p.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Charles Lejano. We are One News. Check, 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 check.